Hello everyone, thanks for tuning into today's second video. We're going to have a look at the weather for the next 14 days for today's second video. Day 10 will take the 22nd of December, and we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the GFS and ECM Ensembles. So they run to around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFS V2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks, and that gets into the first half of January. I shall get on that for you in a moment. Just to say that first, a video say was not a 6 AM UK weather forecast. That's coming back tomorrow, but we didn't have a 6 AM forecast for you today, because I went out for dinner last night actually with my lovely friend Jack. I had a meal out with Jack Lowe, GavsWeatherVids regular, and we had a very nice time. But because of that, I was able to do a 6 AM forecast, but it is back tomorrow anyway at 6 o'clock. So the first video says actually, let's say European outlook, so check that one out. And please like, share, subscribe on all of today's videos content. Thanks so much to do that. Have the 15th Christmas update coming up for you this evening as well, by the way. Right, okay, so let's start off with the Arctic and North Atlantic oscillations, I think, for this one. So remember, the Arctic oscillation is just an index that's reflecting the atmosphere. So it doesn't drive anything in its own terms, it just tells what the atmosphere is doing. So when the AO is in a positive phase, got low pressure over the Arctic and over the North Pole. When the AO is in a negative phase, we've got high pressure blocking over the Arctic and over the pole. Remember, blocking is the route getting cold air out of the pole and down into the mid-latitudes. But of course, where the block sits determines where the cold air gets pushed out to. So you can see that the AO did go very negative actually at the end of November into the beginning of December down here. That's when we had the cold spell, you remember, start December, and you know, that was brought about partly anyway by quite a high level of blocking. Well, now the AO is on the up. We're currently still negative, but we're on the weekly side negative. But the GFS Ensembles, as you can see very clearly here from these red lines, they're showing that the Arctic oscillation is going to be going into quite a strongly positive phase, actually, for the rest of December, really, certainly up to the Christmas period anyway. So we've got quite strong positivity of the AO there as we go through like the second half of December, and this is a signal for reduced blocking and low pressure to be dominant over the pole. At the same time, the NAO is going positive as well, so this is all looking a bit ominous for anyone who wants cold weather, I have to say. Again, we did have a negative NAO at the beginning of December, and the NAO have been in a long-term negative phase, actually, with a few exceptions, particularly early September, went positive with the NAO. And for a while in the third week of November, we went positive with the NAO as well. But generally, the NAO, since back to the summer, has been in a long-term sort of negative phase. But now we see that the NAO is weekly positive, and the GFS Ensembles are forecasting the NAO to become more strongly positive, actually. So the AO going into quite strongly positive territory, the NAO going into quite strongly positive territory. This is undoubtedly a signal for mild weather and strengthened westerly winds. So when we have this sort of combination of a strongly positive AO and NAO, we're going to have a lot of low pressure over the pole. There's going to be plenty of low pressure around Greenland. At the same time, we will be strengthening high pressure around the Azores. In fact, I have a very, very strong area of high pressure around the Azores. Could get around 1050 millibars. So, you know, this is a strong signal for an increased and strengthened westerly zonal flow. And that's a signal, I'm afraid, if you want cold weather, that's a signal for mild conditions. Right, central temperature continuing to tick up. We're now sitting at 4.4, which is 0.1 of a degree below the 6.9 average. Where this updates tomorrow, that's provisional to yesterday to the 11th. When this updates tomorrow to 12th of December, that will be above average, I think. And if the AO or the NAO, if anything to go by, probably likely say above average as we go through the rest of December, certainly till Christmas anyway. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles for the next couple of weeks. The red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for Nottingham, another suggested location for this part of the video. Only off a little bit above average with the upper air temperature today. I mean, we're actually ticking down for the next couple of days, so going a bit cooler. But then at the end of the week into the weekend, coming really mild with those upper air temperatures as high pressure builds up from the Azores. Beyond that, heading into the Christmas period, got a little bit of a cool down, showing still uncertainty about Christmas really. So we've got the colder ensemble members down here, we've got milder ensemble members up here, quite a lot scattered, but probably going a bit cooler anyway as we go to Christmas period, although not cold. There are a few ensemble members that you say are genuinely cold. These ones between -5 and -10 at 850 kph, but just I would say just most ensembles are just going cooler, really running up towards Christmas. I mean, over and beyond Christmas into this period here, close to average. It does look as though we're going to have a drier slot, so we've got some showy rain for today. Once that's out of the way, then we are drier for the rest of the week and also into weekend. Precipitation coming back as we approach the Christmas period, so turning more unsettled then, potentially. Snow row looks like that. So there are quite a few snow spikes actually appearing, maybe a little bit surprisingly, for around the 22nd, 23rd of December here. You notice this big spike just here around Christmas Eve. That would be exciting, wouldn't it? That would be a proper white Christmas with that one. Obviously, it's an outlier, though. But there are a few spikes, actually. I'm a bit surprised about that. Just how many spikes there are there clustering around the 22nd, 23rd, and so maybe we'll pull off a little bit of pre-Christmas snow. Wouldn't that be interesting? Temperature anomalies from the 12th to 20th of December, above average. Precipitation anomalies from the 12th 20th of December, they're coming out drier than normal in most places. A little bit wetter than average road, but western parts of Scotland, that's the exception to the rule. Our latest Windflow Map from earthnullschool.net shows got an area of low pressure sitting right over top of the country today, so remaining unsettled. However, that's the Azores high just there, and that high will be generating a ridge for us through the rest of the week, so gradually things will be settling down. And we see this nicely on the latest UK Met Euro starting the chart data with this one. So we've got high pressure down towards Spain and Portugal there on Friday, low pressure towards Greenland, Iceland, and we're bringing up these west to south westerly winds as well. Into Saturday and Sunday, high pressure strengthening over France, low pressure away to northern and western parts of Scotland. So looking very mild here as we go to the weekend. We'll talk about this, you know, in the videos a lot lately. It is going to be turning very, very mild over the weekend. Even you possibly say warm temperatures for eastern Scotland, possibly going into the mid to maybe even upper teens Celsius with a bit of phone effects. It will be very wet for western Scotland with that area of low pressure just there. And down south, a lot of dry weather there, but it's also mild and cloudy. Into next week, where it starts very mild, but by Tuesday, a cold front pushes south, bringing some rain and some quite strong winds, and introducing a more showery sort of west-northwesterly flow. Icon, again, has high pressure building up from the south as we go through the end of the week and into weekend. That turns things mostly dry and very mild, if not quite warm. For the weekend, temperature could well go into the teens Celsius. Will be a lot of cloud, of course. That's one of the things that I contend with, I think. The southwest winds will be very cloudy, and for West Scotland, a wet pattern too. For the early part of next week, a cold front comes south, east will bring some band of rain, and introduces some cooler, fresher air from the west and from the northwest as we get to midday on Tuesday. Now, just going to pause the video because I haven't got the KMA up. I couldn't get onto Metrocella. I was trying to get the charts here, but I'm going to pause the video to see if I can get onto it now. So just hold on, everyone. Okay, we've got Metrocella up, and here we go then with the KMA. High pressure ridging up from the southwest, bringing a lot of dry weather at the end of the week into the weekend. High pressure centres to the south, low pressure to the north. This area of low could bring a lot of rain into northern west parts of Scotland. Also quite strong winds there as well. It's a very mild pattern that we've got here. The temperatures, with winds in the air coming from the Azores. Now beyond that, we start to freshen things off through to the middle and second half of next week, or through to the early part of next week, I should say. As winds going to the northwest, that'll bring cooler, fresh air in. They're looking a little bit stormy here before Christmas. Deep low pressure to the north of Scotland, bringing potentially a battering of severe gale force winds. And by Christmas, possibly started going a little bit colder as well. The high pressure pulling back towards the Azores. Jet stream going on a northwest southeast line, and with this low digging in from the northwest. This is what we call cold zonality. So with that, you tend to get cold rain down in the south, but you can sometimes get some wintry conditions up in the north. So Scotland, Northern Ireland, Northern England, possibly North Wales. That's always quite interesting when you start going into a cold zonal flow, such as we see there. Right, so that's the KMA done. Let's have a look at the GFS midnight run. Again, we've got high pressure building up from the southwest through the weekend. Lots of dry and very, very mild weather to come. Through the early to middle part of next week, turns wet, windy, and then slightly cooler and pressure. And then as we head towards Christmas, which is day 10, 22nd of December, looks quite stormy, heavy rain on a cold front sweeping across the country, with strong winds as well. And then beyond that, starts to turn wind into the north briefly there on the 23rd of December, so some colder air starts getting back into Scotland before the next low punches through on Christmas Eve, bringing plenty wet weather with it. As that one clears out of the way, turns wind into the northwest, possibly to the north, so becoming colder there on Christmas Day. Showers could turn wintry up in the north. That's the setup by the end of the GFS midnight run. Gets 28th of December. We're into the no man's land between Christmas and New Year. With high pressure blocking to the north, low pressure trying to come in from the Atlantic and bring milder air in as well. That looks like a little bit of a cold snap taking place there between Christmas and New Year, particularly so. For the north, the GFS 6 there, the latest, has high pressure again building up from the southwest, with lots of dry and really mild weather with it through the weekend. And into next week, you're going to a rather showery west-northwesterly flow, a little bit cooler and fresher with that as well. Day 10, again, looking rather unsettled, deep low pressure in the Atlantic, showery conditions for most parts of the country, turning quite stormy there on the 23rd of December, the eve of Christmas Eve. That's Christmas Eve itself, another low punching through. That's on a bit more of a southerly track. Could be some heavy rain, but possibly some hill snow for Scotland. Christmas Day on this GFS run builds up a little transient ridge. That'll be mostly dry and relatively mild Christmas Day for low pressure back in for Boxing Day. And then that takes us through to the end of the GFS 6 run, still with low pressure in control. Looks much more unsettled, but I have to say, from Christmas onwards. If you enjoyed the video, please do like, subscribe, make sure to show everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. We thank you so everyone for doing that. We need to put on around 70 subscribers to get ourselves to 17.5k. So if you could give us a sub and tell your friends and family to subscribe, that would be amazing. And we will thank you so much, everybody. Okay, GM, again, with high pressure building up from the southwest on Friday into the weekend. Again, high pressure over France, but Portugal, low pressure in the North Atlantic drags up this really mild southwesterly wind into the early part of next week. Again, got a cold front pushing through, flattening off that ridge, just turning things a little bit cooler and fresh, but still mild, really, because it's the air is coming in from the Atlantic, so it won't be particularly cold, but will cool down a bit through the early to middle part of next week. And then heading up towards day 10, that is day 10, so high pressure. Strong high pressure around the Azores, again 1045 millibars, that's a big Azores high. Low pressure in Scandinavia, winds in from a northwesterly direction, could be a little bit colder there for Scotland with shower patterns turning wintry, but overall that is still Atlantic German, so relatively mild. And then we've got the ECM, which looks like this. High pressure again builds up from the south, brings lots of dry and very mild weather with it into the weekend. Then early next week we start turning things slightly cooler with winds coming more from a westerly direction, but will still be mild as the air is coming from the Atlantic. Notice the Azores high is up to around 1050, maybe even 1055 millibars just here. That might be getting to around 1055 millibars. So it's a very strong Azores high. Normally the Azores high is around 1020 to 1030 millibars. So this really is an intense area of high pressure that we have there in the Atlantic. And the upshot is, combined with low pressure around Greenland, Iceland, we strengthen the zonal flow, so a strong westerly flow coming across the Atlantic, keeping things basically mild, but perhaps increasingly unsettled as we run up towards Christmas. This is my precipitation forecast based on that ECM run from TemperaTubeCom. Showery today, things turning drier tomorrow, but more showery rain into the northwest by the end of Wednesday and into Thursday. Then mostly dry through the second half of the week, except for northwest of Scotland, where we are into a really wet pattern there. And then we go on into the weekend and the beginning of next week. Gradually that cold front comes southwards and eastwards early next week. Turns being cooler, wintry showers packing into the north and the northwest, further rain at times, and that's a setup by day 10. So most of the rain next week, at least initially, is in the north and the west, but eventually with time, some of that wet weather could start pushing down into the south and the southeast. These are the options on the table within the ECM Ensembles today for day 10. Gets us 22nd of December. 13 members of the ECM Ensembles with high pressure reaching in from the south and west, with lots of dry weather with it, low pressure way to the north, and winds are coming in from a westerly direction. Still quite a bit of dry weather with that, and pretty mild. We've got 10 again with high pressure from the Azores, reaching into Western Europe. Low pressure is up towards Iceland and Greenland. Jet stream is up here. 10 again with deep low pressure to the north, high pressure down to south. Winds again coming in from an Atlantic direction. It's a little bit cooler with that one, a little bit more northwesterly maybe. And we've got 8 with high pressure just out to our west. Low pressure is to the east. That might be bringing the wind in from the northwest as well. That could be a little bit of a cooler interlude. 6 again. Low pressure, deep low pressure to our north and east, high pressure in the Atlantic. That could be a bit colder as well. And then we've got 4, flat as a pancake, low pressure north, high pressure to the south, and winds coming in from a westerly direction. What about Christmas? Let's have a look at the options for Christmas Day, shall we? So these are them. 25th of December, 16 members of the ECM Ensemble, still flat as pancake, low pressure north, high pressure south, winds coming in from the west. 14, building a bit of a ridge in the Atlantic, and low pressure Scandinavia might deliver a little bit of a cold snap. 12 with low pressure over top of the country, that looks quite unsettled, and maybe northwest southeast alignment to the wind flow and jet stream. That could be a little bit of a cold snap. And then 9 again with low pressure north Scotland, high pressure over France, and winds coming in from a west or a southwesterly direction. Most of the options look relatively mild for Christmas, but we can't discount like the 14 men, possibly the 12 there, but are delivering, if not cold, a cold spell, maybe a little bit of a cooler snap. And then truly time, these are the options that we've got. Gets us 27th of December. 16 members of the ECM Ensembles with low pressure north northeast, high pressure to the south southwest. That keeps us in a westerly flow. 14 with high pressure from west to the southwest. That's turning a little bit drier, probably going to be quite mild. 12 with low pressure over and to the east of the country, might be a little bit cooler and unsettled with that. And 9 again with low pressure to the north in Scandinavia, high pressure down towards France, and winds again coming in from the west. It all looks Atlantic driven, I have to say here, up to, over and even beyond Christmas. CFS V2 finally beats a 500 millibar high tolerance breakdown to week periods. The first week period takes us from a 12th to the 18th of December. The next week looking unsettled, low pressure to the north, high pressure to the south. We're in a zonal westerly flow. Though going to be very mild in the weekend. Week 2 will be the 19th, 25th of December again. Low pressure north of Scotland, high pressure is to our south-southwest. Winds again coming in from westerly direction. Oh, that's looking at Atlantic driven and probably more unsettled, particularly so up in the north. Week 3 will be the 26th of December to New Year's Day. Low pressure then moves towards Scandinavia. High pressure reaching in the Atlantic. This might deliver a cold snap. Could just about get wind into the north with that. Maybe cold snap there between Christmas and New Year. And then week 4 is going to be the second. Oops, going to be the second. So the 8th of January of low pressure over Scandinavia, high pressure blocking towards Greenland. So you will think we're going to be bringing a cold northerly flow. However, there is a complicating factor, which is this high down here. Anytime you've got high pressure around Spain and in the Mediterranean, you're going to be trying to bring up a very mild southwesterly flow. So, I mean, if there's a battle going on, that could get quite interesting. this is very speculative, I shouldn't really be mentioning it, but let's say there was going to be you're going to have cold air up here, okay, you're going to have warm, very mild air just there. In between, you're going to have a boundary, you're going to have a divide. Often you get weather fronts on that divide. If there's a boundary, if there's a divide between cold air to the north and the northeast, mild air to the south and southwest, that can sometimes deliver quite large amounts of both rain and snow. But as it's as it's 4 weeks away and in the new year, I don't think we should really worry too much about that. Just have to give the coldies one crumb of comfort, because these are grim times at the moment for people who like cold weather, I think. Okay, we're done. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. Why not drop a comment? Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Thank you so much everyone for doing that. As I say, we need to put on just 70 subscribers. Set 17.5k. Please give us a sub. And we thank you so very much for doing that. Right, that's it for today's Day 14 down. Just tell you what's happening tomorrow. Don't forget, got 15th Christmas update coming up this evening, by the way. But tomorrow, again, we're going to have the 6 a.m. UK weather forecast back. It's back in business tomorrow, along with Strap Watch, and we'll be live at 6 p.m. So we'll be doing our Wednesday evening live stream. We'll be live stream 10 to 14 day. Everything that we've done here, probably minus the AO, NAO, but everything else that we've done here will be included in our 10 to 14 day live, and that'll be at 6 p.m. tomorrow. So I shall see you for that one. But for this one, so for now, thanks for watching. Don't forget Christmas update this evening. And for this remote, bye for now. See you later. Bye.